All right, good afternoon. Welcome to New York session. I hope you're doing well. Okay, so today is 12th of December 2025, and like I said, today is going to be our last session for the year, and then we will resume next year, January on the 6th, I think. It's January the 5th of January 2026. Okay, so let's jump into today's session. All right, so dollar index, as I mentioned yesterday, based on how we closed on Wednesday, I gave you 98.03 to 97.94. That is where I think price is going. So look for continuation to the downside. I think they've placed in another volume imbalance in here, so that area can also stop price from coming up, and we are going to go down here. So look forward for a continuation to the downside on the dollar index. That will give you a buy on the euro. I think I favor euro, even though British pound is also good, but the rejection was too hard. Euro's rejection wasn't that hard, so I favor euro. Obviously, you can take any of them, but I favor euro to the upside. So you're looking for a buy to continue going to 1.17790. Okay. British pound, I've already given the upside objective 1.34717. So stick to the upside for now. Obviously, I know some of you are gonna trade next week, but if you are going to trade next week, make sure you are looking for upside on the foreign currencies, and then you can look for downside on the dollar index. The euro pound price did trade to that area, and that is where I was expecting them to reject and go lower. So today being Friday, maybe this week they might not go down, because sometimes price does that on the weekly time frame. It will not go down for the week, but it will stay as an up candle, and then maybe. So if we reject, watch this down candle formed over here. If we reject that, just as similar to yesterday, I mentioned if we rejected that, then you can look for the move down here. If we reject that, that is when you can look for a move to the downside. If not, stay away. Now, can it continue going up? Absolutely. Because we are still in a bullish trend. I wanted to see them come to the order block, because they've already touched this area here. So I wanted to see them come lower before the continuation to the down to the upside, because it's still bullish anyway. We are just in a pullback. So let's see if next week, if we break the up candle, it doesn't change the downside. The only thing that changes the downside is if we break this up candle over, here. Okay, if we break that, that is when we will go up. Until then, we are still subject to come down. Okay. Gold. So gold surprised me, because again, if we go back to the monthly, you remember me saying exactly that. When we have something like this, to me, sometimes it's very challenging. The keyword here is challenging to trade it, because the high and the low, any of them can be taken, and based on how we closed last week, right, by default my mindset is they have to go for a different a previous week low. So again, if I had traded this week, I would have been taken out of my trade, right? That is why again I mentioned I'm not gonna touch it, because I know that when certain things happen and I don't see what I need to see, it just doesn't make sense to me. Okay, and as you grow in your trading journey, you understand why. There are certain patterns that you will not be familiar with, and when they happen, you just have to sit on your hands and wait. That is what I did with this one. Now, with what is happening right now, you can clearly see what it wants to do, right? It wants to go for this, today being Friday. Now, even with that, next week could open and then start coming back down and confuse a lot of people. But personally, I think they might go for this high, because there's nothing in here for them to go for. On the H4, the only thing that, if you are long, you need to be careful is that fair value gap up there. Okay, you need to be careful when price gets there. It can get to that level and then pause and pull back. So if you are long, the 4344.40 level, if you are long, make sure once price gets there, you don't continue looking for buys, unless you're already in a buy, and then that is fine. But if you're not in a buy, then once price gets up there, do not continue looking for longs, because looking for longs will it's risky. Let me put it that way. It's risky. Okay, so okay, so that's that for gold. Crude oil, we have come for this low, so for now, for this week, that is done. Again, I'm not gonna be here next week, so if you want to trade it, you can key off from the fact that the weekly has also confirmed a continuation, and you can look for a move to attack this low. Okay, you can look for a move to attack that low. Yesterday, I spoke about this, right? That we will resume going up, because the whole move to the downside was a run on stops, and you can see that on the daily we have confirmed we will be coming up here and definitely up there. Now, this is the first time that the, I'll say September, October, November, December, October to December price action has become somewhat, I would say, challenging. It's the first time, because every year price will go, pull back, go, but this year it's done something that if you were expecting a straight line, then it would have been challenging, because October up, November down, then December up. Okay, that is not usually what happens. Okay, usually you have October going up, then maybe a small pullback, November, basically we open the month, we drop, and then we go up. That has been the consistency. So this year has been exceptional, but it's all fine. Again, you just have to adapt. All right, and I think the adaptation was very easy when price dipped into this gap. Initially here, that is where the confusion came, because I expected them to go up from here and not come back down again. But yeah, they did come down to knock out anyone that was long, and then price rejected and went up nicely. So yeah, seek continuation to the upside. I think 7084.00 is the upside objective for now. Okay, let's go over to Australian dollar. I think yesterday I spoke about this pair staying in a consolidation, so I brought your attention to this one, that if you want to do anything, then look out for the Euro Aussie for potential buy. I still stand with that. It's rejecting this low. Now I think next week will be a good week for a buy on this pair. We've rejected this low, so next week likely gonna trade inside this gap. So ideally you want this today to stay like that. You want today to stay like that, then on Monday price will take out the low, dip into this, and then start going up. Now I just recognize a pattern in here, which if you go back to the British pound, that was the beginning of the reversal on the British pound right here. Okay, so we have this up candle, we traded down, broke above it, created a gap. That's the same sort of price action. We are back above it, we are creating a fair value gap. So we can likely trade to 50%, okay, next week on the Euro Aussie. So buying the fair value gap and then expecting them to trade up will be the best option, and then leave the Australian dollar alone. Dollar yen has rejected the gap, which is good to see, but with the the dollar index bearish, this one might probably stay sideways, because that'll be two bearish pairs, so it might stay sideways. So next week, focus, if you want to trade Euro Aussie, will be a good pair to focus on. And then this one, I think I gave you what it's trying to do. This equal low is likely gonna be the drawn liquidity. So, but that's if you want to trade it. I'm actually, next year this is gonna disappear from my screen, because it's a seasonal move. October to December, I expect it to go up, but it didn't. So we get rid of it and then we move on. Now let's move on to the crypto market. I think nothing has really changed since yesterday. still looking for lower prices. The only big change that happened was Chachki, right? Chachki has moved crazy. I think at some point it was 115. It's 115% move, and it's now coming back down. It went through the breaker and gone from the high, but it's currently rejecting. So I don't know how the week is gonna end. But on the monthly, it looked like if we can close above the previous month, then that will be a good sign. Like I said, where we are now, this is likely going to happen, and I can't wait for AI 16 to do the same thing, because that is also trading in similar levels, right? So if you manage to get some, great. If I were you, this is the time. I think for Chachki it's a bit too late, because below this level was the ideal, and that is where AI 16Z is currently trading. So I'm expecting something similar like that to unfold on AI 16Z. Okay, but the rest, we are still looking for lower prices, so nothing has really changed on them. Hype, still looking for continuation to the downside. Same thing with Ethereum. Solana, same thing. And then XRP, that's the one that said to leave it alone. Okay, so maybe focus on hype for the continuation to the downside. Focus on hype for the continuation to the downside. But definitely keep an eye on Bitcoin as well. The weekly gap, and then continuation to the downside. Okay. All right, and then dollar index, we are looking for continuation to the downside. It can move into this gap before continuing to the downside, so be aware of it. That volume imbalance, we can't touch it before continuation, so you're watching for something like this to happen, and then you look for continuation. So do not sell until we get an immediate close below an up candle. Then you can look for a continuation to the downside. All right. Okay, so that will bring me to the end of today's session and the end of the year. I appreciate all of you for tuning in with me from January 2025 till December 2025. It's been a 12-month journey non-stop, and we continue again next year, and then we'll see what can the market bring to you in terms of whatever you want from the market. Okay, so enjoy your Christmas period. Take some time off, have fun with your family. Don't get too glued to the screen. Take time away from the screen and have fun, because life is to be lived. Okay, so just have time for yourself, have time for family. Switch off the screen over the next 2-3 weeks. Walk in nature, and then we meet again on the 5th of January 2026. Until then, take care.